Do you know what this is? Yeah, this thing here. This is called a card spring, or springing the cards. So the other day I was browsing YouTube and I happened upon this. And I thought, what? How? His card spring is so long. Just look at it. Now, I've been springing cards for years, but my spring only goes about this far, and his seems to go this far. So, being an inquisitive fellow, I looked more closely and noticed he was holding the cards in an unusual grip. See? When I spring the cards, I hold them something like this. But he was holding them more something like that. Really deep into the palm. So naturally, I left a comment on the video asking about all of this, and guess what? No, really, guess.
Silence when I'm speaking.
Well, I got a reply back. The guy's name is Nate, and he is one of the co-founders of Organic Playing Cards. And he offered to make a tutorial teaching his variation. So, grab some cards and prepare your mind to learn, not just the card spring, but the really, really long card spring. Now, Nate lives in the US and I'm currently in Ukraine, so in order to collaborate, we decided to meet somewhere in the middle. Alright, so this is a great compromise, meeting in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, I guess. You know what? This is a little noisy. Let's try, outer space. Oh yeah, that's much better. Very quiet up here because, you know, space is a vacuum. Anyway, let's get Nate on the line. Hey Nate, are you there? Ah, there he is. Anyway, the interesting thing about Nate is he's actually very much in... Whoa, 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 where are you going? It's time to work. Show me what you got. Show me what you got.
Hey everybody, welcome back. So here is how I'm going to teach you how to do a long spring that looks like this.
That looks amazing, but maybe you should introduce yourself first. Whoa, 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 Nate, it's not a big deal, just a few words.
How?
Well, I don't know, just say something about yourself.
It's difficult to do this.
Maybe if you just talk while doing some cardistry moves with your hands?
There we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Nate Lex and I'm from a channel called Organic Playing Cards. My friend Cam and I make these fruit-themed playing cards, and we also do cardistry. And today, Jason was nice enough to let me on here to show you guys how to do this amazing trick called the spring.
Alright, that sounds great. Let's get started.
So it's a little bit harder because you have a lot of range to go with these. I'm going to teach you the little subtleties on how to make this easy to catch when it's long.
A lot of people shoot it in a short fashion.
Some people shoot them like this. So I've got different finger grips.
And I kind of have a different format of shooting it. And I wanted to teach you my method. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this, and let's begin. So, you'll want to start with the deck in your dominant hand. And we're going to talk about where your thumb's going to be, where these fingers are going to be, and how to catch them. And at the end of the video, we'll show you guys some techniques on how to make it a little bit better. So you're going to need your deck of cards. Any deck of cards will do. I recommend one that's not just been opened, so like a little bit used, but a little bit used is fine, and old is also really fine. And one that does not have a complete plastic finish. You're going to want air cushion, or you're going to want linen. The cards that we make have premium linen finish on them, so you're going to want them to be something like that, so the cards will easily slide off one another. So what you're going to do with your thumb placement, you're going to locate this place on your thumb right here in the middle. And this little vertice right here, that corner, is going to go right in the middle of your thumb. Now, it's going to be a little weird because your thumb is going to press into that area. And then once you get the grip of here, I'll show you that in a second, your thumb it's going to be pushed into your thumb, and this line right here of the cards on that back left corner is going to push down, and then this line is going to run up the end of your thumb. Because when you push them in, you can see, if you guys see this part of my thumb, that the cards are lining up down this way, and it's going to be on the very edge of your thumb. So even just a little bit of the fleshy part of your thumb is going to be the thing that holds on to it. Now I do this sometimes varied, and you guys can experiment around with what is more comfortable for you, but sometimes it is putting the thumb completely on that line, or sometimes it's putting that line kind of to the side of your thumb. So sometimes my thumb comes more around to the back side of this short side of the deck. Whatever feels more comfortable for you, and once you get used to this move, you'll kind of find your own style, and it's going to be awesome. So for this side of the hand, these fingers, you're going to take the opposite corner. So if you're holding the deck like this, the other corner right here, and that corner is going to go in this little crevice right here of your hand. Your ring finger, your pinky, there's this little crevice right here. And put this corner where these three lines meet in that. So here, and then let this line of the cards run across the top of your fingers here. So if I put this little divot there, you're gonna lay them across like so, across the top like that. It's like right below the middle. So if you look at the middle knuckles of your fingers, it's gonna be right below that on the inside, and you'll see that skin build up again. Just wanna give you that tip. And then your thumb like that. So it's gonna look a little weird, but the line up here should be digging into the flesh of your fingers, so that if you pushed with your thumb and curled them, there should be this like tension here, and they shouldn't slip off this way at all. They shouldn't shoot this way. If anything, you're going to want all the tension to come off your thumb, and that is how you're going to get a smooth spring. Once you do something like that, what you're going to do is get a bow that kind of mocks the curve of your hand like this. If you're biting, it's kind of what it looks like, or just biting with your hand like a hand puppet, and you're going to kind of want to go in like that. So you're not going to want to curl these fingers at all, and you're only going to want to curl your thumb a little bit. The reason why is these are going to keep the tension of that card up here when you shoot. So when you shoot the cards like this, your hand is kind of slowly opening like this. And the reason why your thumb, that point is on your thumb right there, is so that the cards will slowly, if you watch closely, shoot off my thumb one at a time. And I can do it as slowly as I want till all the cards are gone. And then if you guys get a little bend in your deck, you can just do it the reverse way, and it will help bend the cards back. So that's just a little free tip for you. You're going to want to shoot them one at a time, and your thumb is going to kind of relax back naturally. Don't try to move your thumb back while you're springing. Just keep pushing and lightly let those cards spring off your thumb. And then it is going to build up kind of the muscle right here in your hand. And it will hurt a little bit at first. So if it starts to hurt a little bit, just know that you'll get used to it, and it's not a big deal. And one of the basic tips that'll help you is if you kind of let them relax a little bit, you'll see some of the space start to form in the cards like this. And that will help you understand the air between them, so they'll slide out smoothly. But you kind of just shoot them. You'll see if you keep putting pressure on it, you'll feel kind of like one card slip off. So if you want to practice really well, try to shoot off one card at a time. And then you can just increase the speed of shooting one card at a time. And then for modifications for people who have smaller hands, let me help you guys with that. This whole line right here can be moved. So if your hands are too small, you can also use this fleshy part of your finger up here. I've taught my roommate a couple times, and you just move, instead of this knuckle here, you just move up to the second set of knuckles, and you should be able to shoot the cards just the same. And your hand will be slowly opening like that as well. So now that you've got kind of that shooting motion down, I'm going to show you guys how to catch them. So the catch of this move, one of the ways to catch it, and it's going to be a huge benefit when you start shooting them a long ways, is the basket you make. So I am fortunate enough to have pretty large hands. I've been blessed by the Lord with some pretty big hands. And what you have to do is extend those fingers as far as you can out in a direction, and then curl up. So curl the tips of your fingers up, so that when I shoot the cards into my hand, they make a basket. And then when they fall against the sides, they don't go anywhere. Now, one of the biggest tips I had to tell my roommate was when you're starting, you could potentially be holding them like this, and if you don't put your pinky in the right place, they slide off your hand backwards, and you don't want that. So you're going to want your pinky to move back from this, like so, or you're going to want to be tilting your hand down forward a little bit, so that when you shoot them into your hand and they slide forward, they get caught on your ring, and your middle, and your index. and then if you're shooting them backwards, if you're leaning your hand back, they'll all land and catch on your pinky. So now that we've done all of this, you've learned how to do the spring. And remember, big tip, don't bend these fingers. That'll help you shoot them off more. And then the reason why I think this makes you shoot them longer rather than this is the other way to do the spring is with your index and middle on top, is you don't get enough friction and pressure pressed into the deck against the cards. So you're really all, like in this one, you can kind of rely on the curl of your middle and index finger bending, but with the one that just varies with the thumb, you just rely on the strength of the thumb shooting it. So there's less room for error in terms of the bending of which fingers move, and also these fingers don't get tired as easily, and you can just shoot them like that. So I would like you guys to try that, and now we'll get into some of the subtleties of what will make the long spring so impressive.
Hey guys, so now that you've learned how to do the modified spring with the, claw grip, I guess, instead of the index and middle grip, here are some extra tips on how you can make this really good. There's also some angle issues. Some of it has to do with people going straight down or straight across, and you kind of want to do it more at a 45-degree angle, so you can shoot them like this. And one of the things that my friend Matt Fox actually taught me was dropping this bottom hand out like this. So you actually want to drop your hand further down, and then you pull this one back. So instead of trying to extend both of them at the same time, drop this further hand, because this hand not moving is going to allow the cards to fall farther and you not to actually move position. And another tip is having this hand lead. So one of the illusions with this spring and making it long is that when you carry this across your body, that you're like making it bigger than it is, because this hand and this hand are coming together. So it looks like it's this long kind of, but the illusion is you're just moving your hands like this. Now to make it actually longer is kind of leading with your front hand and then coming back up. If you guys notice some of the videos, I like let my bottom hand drop and then extend forward, and then I come back up with my hand like this. I can shoot them longer, like actually longer. I think the actual longest I can shoot without it being like needing to move a bunch and have my hand slap back up. It's pretty far without dropping a ton of cards, drop like one or two. And so you can actually, with practice with this technique, shoot them a little bit further without even needing to do the front hand following, back hand leading up. But you can actually lengthen out your spring just by shooting it with the squeeze technique rather than the index and middle, because there's more control in the thumb. So just even dropping the hand makes that further. You're gonna wanna drop your hand instead of trying to extend both hands at the same time. You want to actually be able to shoot these into your hand by like dropping that hand back and leading with that front hand. So it's gonna kind of look like this. My front hand comes up and then my back hand kind of comes up to meet it. So this one's, they're gonna kind of be at a space away and extending apart from each other for a second, and then the back hand's gonna drop a lot more than the front hand's pulling back, and that is when they will meet together. But when you're also just doing it across your body, you're just gonna want to have that front hand lead like this and then catch up with this hand. So a tip I would want to give you is when you're leading, this is why the basket is so important when you're doing this move, is you need to make sure that that pinky moves down in accordance to where you're catching it, so that when you're catching it like this, that pinky is going to do a lot of catching so that deck completely sits on your pinky like this. So when you are going like this, a lot of the cards, when they're moving and flying through the air, are actually going like this, and they're resting on that one pinky. So even if I moved my fingers out of the way like this, that's going to be key to catching all of them. The grip and the technique that I've taught shoots them a little bit harder with your thumb. So you need them to be hitting your hand, but also dropping onto that pinky, because when they're flying a ton like that, you want to be able to catch them almost at a horizontal, like this, so that when you are shooting them across your body, like so, you'll notice that none of them are falling out because my pinky has moved underneath to catch them. So you'll also be able to just practice shooting them with your thumb at a specific place. So even think about pointing, all of the direction comes with your thumb when it comes to shooting these cards. So wherever you want to place these, it all has to do with kind of where you're pointing that thumb in that direction. So when you're shooting them across your body, think about using your thumb to shoot them into your open hand, and that should be a really awesome tip to help you guys do this. Now, a couple more tips besides just dropping the hand down is in that follow through, just making sure you don't, I guess I'm just expressing a lot of emphasis on don't pull this back a ton. If you pull this back a ton, it gets crazy and then your hand has to locate where to catch it. If you just move this one back and this shooting hand doesn't move a ton, then you can extend the spring like this, even by just moving the hand back further. And then when you feel this hand, the shooting hand, start to run out of cards, that's when your hand can come back up to meet it. Because you'll know that sometimes when I do this, I don't catch it completely cleanly. There are a bunch of cards mixed up. But because I've all caught them and kind of sandwiched them in with this hand, you can just kind of push them all together at the end and line them up and clean that up in a really good, nice way. So we'll even address cleanup. When you're catching this, and they're all kind of scattered out, that hand is going to, the thumb from the catching hand is just going to clamp on top, but these fingers can stay wide, keeping, well, that one's a pretty decent one, but even that, the fingers are going to stay extended out even after the catch so that they're sandwiched together with the thumb. Just practice and practice and practice and practice. I would practice either over a bed or over a table when you're starting. I have a table right in front of me that you can't see. And so when you drop a couple of cards, please do not be discouraged. When you are first learning this, I dropped like probably every card. And honestly, a huge tip would even just be shooting them onto the table in front of you, just with that shooting thumb. Try to get them to line up in a neat stack. And that would be really effective for what you need to be learning. It's just a little clip of me firing the cards onto the table and then kind of letting them be in a nice pile into wherever you're shooting, whether that's onto the carpet or onto a bed or something. One of the tips you can practice while trying to do this move is practicing that grip and just shooting them into a controlled pile. And then this is how they'll end up in your hand, just like that. So the more neatly you can shoot them together, the easier they will be to catch, and the easier they will be to move across in a card shoot or a card spring. So guys, I don't even know if I have any more tips. All I would say is just keep practicing this. And one of the key things when trying to learn a move like this is go back and watch the video. It really, 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 really helps. And a lot of what I say verbally and where the positions of your fingers are going to be are going to matter a lot in terms of how well you do this. And practice shooting the spring like a professional, because even professionals drop them sometimes.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nate, for taking the time to record this tutorial and sharing with all of us your methodology for shooting the cards so long, because it's nice to hear from someone who's actually able to achieve that.
Jason, thank you so much for having me on. If you guys haven't seen, our cards are still available on our website at organicplayingcards.com. And yeah, we have a ton of things going on, and I just want to thank Jason so much again for letting me on here, and maybe I'll be back to teach you guys some more things. So, bye.
So guys, I'm going to put a link in the description below to Nate's website, to his Instagram. You can check him out. You can check out the cards they're selling at Organic Playing Cards. They make a lot of really cool fruit-themed playing cards that are very popular in the cardistry industry. They're very stylish, and so you should check them out. We're going to end this video by showing you a sequence of slow motion footages that Nate recorded of himself doing the long card spring. So you can really take this opportunity to watch the different variations and analyze for finger positions and everything like this and compare it with how you're holding the cards. And you can just watch a bunch of them in a row and maybe you'll be able to process something and understand what you need to do. So we'll play those for you here, and I just want to say again, thank you for watching this video. If you found this helpful at all, please smash the like button. Feel free to subscribe, and here we go.
cards.